You can find me at Chris Ebom on Twitter. Hope you guys are gonna have a good holiday. Got my little Christmas sweater going on. Flamingos, keeping it warm over here. If you guys got any questions about any games at all, hit me up. More than happy to get it going for the most part. And let's see here. Let's get this started. There's a couple games I'm looking at here that are standing out, but I just want to make sure that everything is going on right now. Here, let's see. Make sure we got everything going. Yep, we're good. We're live. We're ready. We're rolling. So everything's good. All right. On Twitter, if you want to go on YouTube, on Rise and Fire Bets, you're more than welcome to ask questions, any of that good stuff. Like, subscribe, all that. Thank you very much. But let's get into it. The NFL card. There's a couple lines that just really stood out to me for the most part. I'm not going to go in full depth with why I like them, but just more of a generalization for the most part. I can rattle off stats all day. I don't think you really want to hear that per se, but as long as I give you the main stuff here. So the first game I'm looking at, it is at 1:00. It's the Houston Texans at the Dallas Cowboys. It was at 18. It's dropped down to 17.5. I really like the Texans here. I think this is too big of a line here. For what I'm looking at right now, I get it. The Texans defense is terrible. They only won one game. I mean, if you're looking at what the Texans have done this year, yeah, obviously they'll only have won one game, 110-1, a Lovie Smith team that sucks. But you're getting a Cowboys team that's coming off of a dominating Sunday night, or I believe it was Monday night here. Let me just double check. I believe it was Monday night. No, it was Sunday night. I apologize. Sunday night game where they absolutely smashed the Colts 54-19. I talk about this all the time. Public perception is what pretty much the line is for the week. Like if you look this line before, it was never up to 18. Like if you were able to get a futures line on this, it was never 18. They absolutely dominated. Now they're playing even a worse team right now. Now it's going from 11-point spread in that Colts game to 18. That is just so crazy to me. And I understand that Houston's defense is terrible, and that's okay. Davis Mills should be coming back. He should play pretty well for them for the most part. I mean, he's not going to set the world on fire for the most part, but I think he has enough to at least keep this like a 2-touchdown game. I can't imagine the Cowboys coming off of like a 20-point victory right here. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. If I'm looking at what they have done based on blowouts, like so Chicago, they beat them by 20 points, 49-29. They end up losing to Green Bay, and then they obviously didn't cover. Then they go to next week and they win 40-3 against the Vikings. And then after that, they play the Giants and they only beat them by 8. And they were a 10.5-point favorite. So I just feel like the Cowboys, I mean, they're a good team. Don't get me wrong. I mean, defense is solid. Dak Prescott's look pretty good. Tony Pollard's fantastic. And, Zeke gets those extra couple yard runs for the most part. But at the end of the day, I just can't see them smashing twice like this, even with like one of the worst teams in the NFL. Like 18 points. Are you kidding me? Like, I'll take that all day. That, like, literally, you hear that? The back door could be coming at any point here, and I have no problem with that at all. So I'm sticking with 18. I mean, I get it. Houston's bad, but laying 18 points with the Dallas Cowboys, I don't know. It's not like college football where they need to show off and stuff. They're just going to get their win, call it a day. That's about it. Nothing special. So I like the Texans plus 18 here. Another game I was looking at was the Buffalo Bills game. So Buffalo Bills, the Jets are at the Buffalo Bills. Bills are like about a 10-point favorite now. I'm actually looking towards the first half of this game. So hear me out here. So the last time these guys played, Jets were 11-point dog, okay, at home, which was a lot. They end up winning outright. But if you look at what they did in the first half here, Buffalo was up 14-10 at halftime. They were up 4 points just alone in a game that was pretty much a nail biter. And now you're getting them off the mini bye. It's like a little over 7 days. I think it's about like 10 days. I think the Bills should be ready to roll this game. The Jets have been kind of slipping here for the most part. They should have won last week. I did have them. Unfortunately, they had a chance to cover. Didn't happen for the most part. Well, not the most part. It just didn't. And they had a really good opportunity there. So Right, pretty much what I'm getting at here is, let me just get into this real quick. So the Jets and the Bills. So right now we're at being 10-point favorite here. Jets, have had a good record, 7-5. The Bills, they're coming off of, a win against New England, 24-10, where they dominated the first half. They've been a really good first half team here. And yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Lions game over Thanksgiving, that was part of one of my Thanksgiving plays that I had, and I liked Lions there for the first half because that was just a crazy number. But this number is begging you to taking the Jets here. I mean, it's too many points for the first half, and I was able to lock it in. Let me see where I got it. I got it. Actually, the Bills minus 5.5, lane minus 120. It was on PointsBet. That's probably going up at this point, but honestly, laying 6.5, I'm perfectly fine with that as well. In a game where they lost and it was a nail biter, they're still up 4 points at that point. So I think the Bills, they know what they need to do. They're going to take care of business early. I really like them laying 5.5 points first half. That's another play I like as well. All right. So the next game here. And by the way, if you guys have any questions, anything like that, hit me up here. Most importantly, honestly, I appreciate you guys watching on Twitter, all that. But if you can go on YouTube, ask questions. I'm here, man. Let's do this. Let's have some fun, man. Let's rise and fire. So the next play that I'm looking at right now, it dropped a little bit. So books were kind of fluctuating with the beginning line, 49, 48. I mean, it was around that ballpark. I'm looking at the Browns at the Bengals here. The line is currently at 46.5. I'm looking at right now. I know the line's going down, but a lot of people are taking the under here. It has dropped a good amount. Let me see what the money is on right now as of this moment right now. So I'm going to check on Pickett right now. They're usually pretty good when it comes to, money percentages, all that good stuff. Let me see here. So we got spread over under. Okay, so right now I'm looking at 94% of the public money is on the under. 85.9 is also on the under as well as far as percentage bets. That's why that line's dropping so much. But hear me out here. So these guys already played this year, right? So 45 and ended up pushing. Cleveland kind of went a little bonkers. 32-13. This was a game where Burrow just looked absolutely terrible. Cleveland was up 11-0 at halftime. They really didn't score till the fourth quarter. They were really getting after them. And that line was 45. Now we're bumped up. It was originally 49.5, and people started pounding that under because of the last time they played. The public perception. This is what we're talking about. We're going to take advantage of this over here. I believe this game's going to be a lot more scoring than people think for the most part. You're looking at what they have done of late. They scored 27 points. They scored 20 against Tennessee, which was like a really good defense. And then they scored 37 against Pittsburgh and then 42 against Carolina. I mean, these are big numbers. And then the fact that they're laying a much higher line with all the public narrative of them not being able to score like 4 more points for the opening line, like they just moved it because of all the public money. And I have no problem with that. We're going to stay on the other side. We're going to take the over. I really like the over here, 46.5. And if you're talking about what the Browns are going to do on their side, so they played Houston. Deshaun Watson, I don't believe scored a touchdown, throwing the ball. It was his first game. They were still able to score 27 points based off like a punt return, things like that. People are going to look at like, hey, they can't even score offensively. Like, all right, let's just relax. Deshaun Watson hasn't played for, I don't know, for a year now. And then he got kind of thrown into the fire. And I get it. Texans are bad, right? But I think there was some motivation on that side that he was on that team. And I think they played a little bit tougher than most people expected, especially on his side, because he really didn't do much. If I'm looking at what he did stat-wise, he threw for 131 yards, 1 interception, not that great. But then now he's going to go against the Browns. This isn't going to be, Brissett over here. It's going to be Watson. He got that under his belt, getting used to his players. Now that the fact that the line is that high on the total, I think that speaks volumes. I mean, these sports books set these lines for a reason. Like they weren't like, oh crap, we made a mistake with 49.5. They're just getting so much money on this under that the line was forced to move down. So I'm more than happy to get it on a discount. I'm not falling for it. Give me the over 46.5. I really like it. I'm probably gonna lock that in soon myself. I don't think it's gonna go any lower. He's already dropped about 2-3 points. I can't see that going down anymore. So if I'm looking at another game as well, I'm looking at the Eagles at the Giants. So typically the Eagles and the Giants, Eagles have owned the Giants in New York. You can go all the way back to Deshaun Jackson, Westbrook, all those great highlights and everything. Laying 7 now, 7.5. This line keeps going up. If this line's going to keep going up, I know the defense has been playing well for the Eagles, but I really like this over here, honestly. I just feel like the Eagles are going to score about 30 points this game. And I think the Giants will be able to score more than double digits. I think this is a good spot for them. The line is currently at 44.5. I'm looking at right now. Let me just double check. All right, let's see here. 1 second. Let me bring this up real quick. We are at, okay, it's 44.5 like on BetMGM, FanDuel, WinBet, and then you're getting 45s. The time is now to jump on the over. The Giants defense is not that good. And if I'm looking at what they've done, they're 23rd in total yards allowed, 26th in rushing yards. We know how much the Eagles love to run, and that means Jalen Hurts is going to be able to run wild as well. They're going to have a hard time containing him. You saw that what was it, the Green Bay game where he ran wild for like 150 yards rushing or something insane. It's going to be that kind of scenario. He's going to sit back in that pocket. They're going to have to respect his pass play. And then he's going to just run for like 15, 20 yards a bunch. And he doesn't care about running. And that's what I really like about Jalen Hurts. I'll be honest with you. I never was really sold on him at the beginning, but totally proved me wrong. He's been throwing a really good ball, and he's not afraid to run with his legs, and I think that's very important at the end of the day. So this is the first matchup against the Giants in New York. I mean, I just love the over here. So give me the over 44.5. So those are the games that I am looking at that really stuck out to me that much. I see that no one really sent any questions out, which is perfectly fine. But hey, you can catch us on the replay. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good holiday. You can find me at Chris Ebom on Twitter. Not much college football this week. If I were to lean one way, I would lean Army, but a tough game. The line's kind of weird. I'm shocked that Navy's actually a favorite. I would have thought Army would have been a favorite, so that's kind of weird. So I'm backing off of that. But if I had to take something, I would take Army with the points. But that'll do it, guys. Plenty more things going on with football moving along. I'm gonna have some guests on the show. I want to keep it short and sweet for you guys. You can find me at Chris Ebom on Twitter. I wanted to thank you guys again. And let's go make that money, guys. Let's go rise and fire.